You're listening to the 212 Roundtable Podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, and Google Podcasts, as well as Apple Podcasts. Be sure to leave a review and subscribe. You can also find the Brew Club at 212.beer. That's the number 2, the word 12.beer. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching 212 Brew Club. Now on to the show. Welcome to another episode of the 212 Roundtable.
I got myself.
Yeah, well, that's good. You can sit back.
All right.
Then we're not clipping.
Lean back.
Yeah, as you can see, as you can hear, that's not Brandon. Brandon is on baby leave for this episode. He and his wife Becca just had their first child, Benjamin. I hope that the middle name is Michael, because then all of their, it is Michael. His middle name is Michael, so he's BMW.
Oh yeah, Brandon Michael.
And Benjamin Michael. I hope Becca's middle name is an M. They would all be BMWs.
What if her middle name is Michael? She should change it. Can you change your middle name legally?
I think you can.
Yeah, you must
right?
be able to, right?
Who
you
cares?
Can change your first name.
Yeah, you change your last name.
Tony, did you ever want to change your name?
I did not. I was originally going to be named Dominic, and I had no desire to have that name. So as a baby, I said, no, I'm an Anthony. And I said it like that.
My parents said they were going to name me Giuseppe, which would have been awesome.
Yeah, if you were Giuseppe and I was Dominic, we would have
Yeah.
ran our school.
Yeah.
We totally would have just.
Hey,
Giuseppe,
how you doing?
it's me, Dominic.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, let's get some
And then
pizza.
I'd be like, we still hate you. You're not popular.
I'm walking here. Anyways, so yes, Kevin is joining me here because we have a special episode. At the end of every recording that we've done since this podcast started, we started recording, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes afterwards with each guest and opened up a beer that either they brought or Brandon busted out of his cellar. And so what you're about to hear is a collection of those. Now, let me also say that we kind of just set up a mic or two, or we let it keep going. The first one, I believe, is the right after the New England IPA, where we actually taste barrel-aged beer that you're drinking right now, Kevin. You're sampling it.
Nice. It's very good.
And we had a meal from the club there. Me and Brandon. Clark was there, and Eric from Goose Island Barrel House was there. So we got a little input on him. You're actually on this episode, one of the Pale Ale episode, because we drank some more Pale Ales.
I'm a little frightened. I don't remember what we talked about.
I listened to some of it.
Yeah.
I don't. It's okay.
Yeah,
we'll
fine.
see.
Okay.
It's whatever. Pat McHugh is on here. We drink a 2010 Goose Island Pierre Jacques, where I mentioned Goose Island should probably start sponsoring this podcast for how much we actually drink of their beer and mention them. Feel free
What's
to,
the Pierre Jacques?
Pierre Jacques?
Pierre
That is
Sophia
it's a
wine?
Belgian. It's a Belgian golden ale.
Okay.
It was good. It was aged. We'll have to listen to the episode because I'm not sure if I liked it or not.
Okay.
And then, Brandon and I lose our shit. I sent you a picture. Lose our shit over a Prairie Dog beer. I forget what's all in it, but oh my god.
It was like peanut butter wafers or
Yeah,
something?
vanilla and
Coffee, I think.
and
sounded
or
delicious.
chocolate. It was anything you can put in one of those stouts.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
The wafers is what got me.
Who doesn't love wafers?
I love wafers.
I got vanilla wafers upstairs.
Oh, do you remember when we would have sleepovers and we'd get like a 6-pack?
Do I?
We'd get like a 6-pack of cherry Coke and the not Nilla wafers, but the what are they called? Like the strawberry chocolate.
Oh yeah. The wafer cookies with
cookies.
they had like the cream
and
in
we'd
the
eat
middle.
like that whole thing and drink all the cherry Coke.
Oh my god,
Like, that's disgusting.
How? And then I wonder
How are we
why
not dead?
my body is the way it is now. I'm sure if I stopped drinking beer, it would change. But yeah, it's a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being my sidekick. today.
Yeah. I know. I'm not. I'm just here.
It's better than just me talking into the mic. Going, okay, so here we go. We got this. And it's nice. And you've been on the show, so now every every guest has been back on the show. And it's funny, as episode 8, everybody's already been back on. We also have a clip show now.
Oh.
Only at episode 8. That's what this is, the clip show. Except Stephanie, our very first guest, who we don't have after the final pour, and she hasn't been on yet. And she was the reason why we did the Belgian triple. And actually, we're going to see Stephanie tonight, so she gets to finally try
We should
the
secretly
Belgian triple.
tape her. And Just put it in post.
It's a good idea. So what do you think about this beer? This is terrible.
Yeah.
That's a post.
Yep. If I know anything from my FCC training at my job, it's that you can secretly record people and air it whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like the most legal.
It's totally
thing
legal.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so let's get into this. Here is the first of many clips. This is. Hey, let me scroll. Let me check what we got here. Check the very first clips that we're listening to after the final pour. This is what Brandon named it. I called it something else. I think let's call these sides or like smalls or whatever. And Brandon came up with the name after the final pour, so we want to make this a regular thing, and it'll sound better after this one. Ooh,
I like that.
Just got a power up.
ATFP.
I took out the T because you're not. I mean, T is
AFP?
yeah, AFP.
AFP. Yeah.
Alien Fights Predator.
Yeah.
The first one is after the New England IPA episode, as I said, with Clark, Emil, and Eric, and we discuss the barrel aged beer. So
Sweet.
Here we go.
Alan farts, pal.
Wow.
So,
Wow, you just did the two things that you're not supposed to do.
yeah, because I'm starting it off and you're going to edit that shit. So,
Oh boy.
Tony, is
come
a
on!
dick. So,
No,
we're gonna talk
dude,
about
stop
Tony
saying
being a
so!
dick. So,
So what?
this
Here we are.
Yeah,
Try
shut
that,
up,
try
shut
that,
up,
try
Tony.
that, try that. Here we
This
are.
portion of the podcast is going to be dedicated to our barrel that we have with our Soul Survivor Stout that's been sitting there since January 2017 of last year.
18. It's 2019.
Oh,
He's
yes,
saying
shit.
2018,
Yeah. 2018 of last year.
And
January 2018.
and the only reason why you got the year wrong is because we just finished the New England IPA
Yeah.
podcast.
So, yeah. So anyway, the reason that we're doing this is just because we also have special guest Eric here, who works for Goose Island and deals with their bourbon barreled beers.
Yes.
He's on the barrel program.
And it was a great idea from Tony and I to pull some of this off. It's been in there.
These guys.
It's very specific. Yes, correct. It is
Anyway,
a good
so
idea, right?
it's been in there for over a year now. We did pull some off in August of last year that we took 5 gallons to the Brewfest, and then we replaced it with 5 gallons. So it would be interesting to see kind of how.
Yeah,
everybody feels
one
about
third of this is fresh beer from August. The rest of the other 2/3 has been aged since last January.
Okay.
Which is almost last January. Add a week onto that, so we're a little over a year on that. So
Well, happy birthday, beer.
yeah, happy birthday, beer. Let's give this a go. Right off the bat,
Give it a nice sip. Cheers.
it smells like bourbon barrel aged beer. Get that on mic. Oh, it's flat.
Wow,
Ooh.
Nice little chocolate.
getting a lot of nice.
It's like I expected. It's lacking in body, but as far as the barrel goes, man, that's pretty good.
What I'd like to say right off the bat is I think the base was really well done, or it was just well execution. Not even just the recipe of it. Like, it was very solid base.
It's
You
a
can
blend.
get, like-
It is a blend of 3 different batches that we brewed. It's a recipe that I did.
It was all the same
Oh,
recipe.
then that makes a lot more sense, because that was the next thing I was about to say, is like, you have complexity to it. It has layers as to what the base might have encompassed. You know, I don't just get like overpowering roastiness. I don't get overpowering dark fruits complemented by like biscuitiness. I get like a little bit of mix of everything, which is really
Right on.
nice.
Thanks.
It almost yeah, maybe crazy. Or tell me if any of you guys get this, and it could just be my taste buds could be roasted from trying the different IPAs, but I'm almost getting like this apple brandy sort of thing.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Do you guys get that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Not green, but not green like off flavor, but apple.
I wouldn't say like acetaldehyde.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say, like,
exactly right. Yes,
Maybe
not
some kind of like ripe fruit.
in
type
a
of
pleasant
characteristic
way.
to it.
Yes.
I would lean it more towards like maybe a more raisin type
Yeah.
of flavor, like a dark
Sure.
fruit characteristic
I
coming
was getting
through in
raisin
it.
and almost like a date type. You know,
Clark, what do you get from this?
I'm getting all sorts. It's
getting
interesting.
drunk.
Yeah, no, raisin date. I got my first sip. I got some chocolate roastiness, but I'm not getting it as I go through it, which is interesting.
I agree. Because I got the chocolate roasty bourbon flavor off the bat, and then right before you had mentioned the apple brandy, I took a sip, And as you had said that, I was swallowing that sip, and that's exactly what I tasted. And like you said, it's not that off flavor, but more fruitiness, like a dark fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I'd want a little more is like a little bit more of the barrel characteristic coming through. But that I think that might tie a little bit more to what the barrel was and how you treated it. Right. So can you explain a little bit about like where you got the barrel from and what you guys did to it before you racked the beer into it?
What's the name of the place that we got
back?
So I'll check in a minute and get the name of the barrel. So, but Tony had actually found it.
No, that's okay.
online
It didn't
and was
flip.
like, hey, this guy wants to get rid of these. He's like,
Right in
so
my
he sent me
face.
the info.
Anyway,
and
so we're
we
back.
kind of
We
figured
took a
it
quick
would
break,
sell out.
and now literally that was like the quickest break we've ever taken. We are going
because he had a ton of them. Like I was, I like ran them, and I figured
maybe let's not mention the distillery.
No, I know. I figured I was going to run in there and be like,
We'll cut
Was it a distillery or was it
Yeah.
just some guy
No,
selling them
but
on the
I
back
ran
of a
in there
truck?
figuring
It's the second
that
part of the Bourbon
Tony was like,
County
you got to get
episode.
these.
We had trouble with the
it's gonna be a hot
audio,
item, and
which
I
worked
ran in there
out
figuring
because
they were all
Emil
going to
and
be gone, and I
Eric
was like,
came back and we did that episode with him.
no,
But this
that's
was
a bunch
after the
of
final
barrels
pour
later. It was
of
also like the
that.
same day he had
So this was
posted
the
it.
So you saw it on just a
Correct.
Facebook post.
So we have
Yeah, I think
that.
it's Facebook or whatever. So
Oh, that just reminded me.
Tony and I
Here's
started
another
emailing the guy, and we
little
ended
bit of
up
audio I
figuring
need
out,
to
okay,
add, so we might
let's
have
go-
one more.
let's
I
go
don't know.
grab it.
Maybe
So
I'll save it
I
for
drove
something
out
else.
there,
This
like,
is
on
the
my
show's
lunch
gonna get long.
break.
But anyway, so we talked to him. We
Talked to the guy a
drinking
little bit,
Pierre Jacques.
threw it
We
back in
drinking
my car,
Pierre
like,
Jacques.
So and then
Always
I
be
had it-
drinking
it was
Pierre Jacques.
summer.
It was a 2010
So I
that
had it
Brandon
sitting
pulled
in
out
the
of his
garage.
cellar, and I remember I think
And
liking
we
it.
ended up.
We'll see.
No,
You've never had Pierre Jacques,
I
right?
have not.
Doing something
I have
with it.
not. I've never had any of
Was
those.
it that long?
I wanna
Was it that
ask,
long?
First of all, what did it?
Why
what did-
are you
how
even
did
on
it
this
look
show
like when
ever?
you first got
You
it?
asked
It seemed
me.
like-
Brand new.
That is not true.
So-
It literally looked
All
like
right,
there was nothing
here's
that-
some
'cause I
more.
think he had said it was
Artie
like 6 to 8
for
months
president.
aged something in it.
That's
And they had
it?
gotten it brand new.
But for the bourbon itself was only aged in there
Yeah,
for like 6 to 8 months.
I think so.
Is what you mean?
So they pulled that off, and I was like, okay. So then I had taken it, brought it home, and I had thrown literally like a bottle of my wife's bourbon in there and like dumped it in there.
Your wife
drinks
recommends her own bourbon?
Yeah.
Did you see anything in
wasn't
there
pregnant.
beforehand?
Good for
Did you
her.
see like a nice little puddle sitting in there? Like, was
Well,
it already saturated? I
yep.
guess is what I'm asking. Like,
Well,
the
he had
staves
said he
fairly
had just
soaked in-
drained them like the day before or something like that. So I kind of took his word for it.
Okay.
So I grabbed it. I mean, opened it up, and it was like huge bourbon smell and everything like that. I was
Right.
like, okay. And like I had actually dumped some stuff out of it, so some liquid came out. But I knew we were gonna let it sit for a little while, so I filled it with a bottle of bourbon, and like literally
Yeah.
like every day I was like shaking it. And
Going
then
straight fucking backyard barbarian,
Yeah.
shaking the hell out of a barrel.
So I had
Neighbors
done that-
looking at you like, what?
Yeah.
What is this man doing?
I'm making booze.
So I'd actually done that, and I was doing that for a while, and then it turned out like we weren't going to brew for a while, so I had emptied it all out. I had bought another bottle of bourbon, threw that in there, actually put a whole full bottle in there,
Okay.
sealed it, corked it, and then I saran wrapped the entire thing
Do you remember the bourbon that you
and
used?
shook it up.
You said it was a Redemption, right?
Yeah, Redemption Rye is
okay.
what I put in
I thought
there.
it was
Sweet.
Buffalo Trace, which is expensive to you.
Would you say?
I thought it was Buffalo Trace that you
No. Before we
30
brewed
bucks
them-
down into this barrel.
No, before we brewed. Well, Redemption is like $28 a bottle.
Never had
But
it.
when we
I
did,
was gonna say Redemption's a little more expensive than Buffalo Trace.
I've never had
So you go,
Redemption,
like,
yeah.
Never had
Um,
it, yeah.
Money for money.
but I think before,
I
right
don't like
before we
rye.
brewed, I think I just poured a little Buffalo Trace in there and just did a rinse.
Oh, maybe that's right. Yeah.
So we ended up doing that, and then so we brewed. What was it? 15? Yeah, we did 15 gallons.
Okay.
Did we do 15 or 20 gallons?
We did 20
gallons.
We did 20 gallons.
So that-
We did
yeah.
20 gallons so
You have to
that
control
we
for the loss as well. So
right, and then we also ended up with like I think 4.5 gallons. We filled it up to the brim the first time we filled it.
Okay.
So much where we were like very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say specific. This is where my editing skills are great for the podcast.
Great.
Fuck, what's the word where it's like what's another word for specific? What's a synonym for specific?
certain
or like you're like
target,
very like anal about something.
Yeah.
precise.
Precise. We were very precise about watching it fill up to the point where it was. Do you guys remember Breaking Bad? You guys all seen Breaking
Absolutely,
Bad?
I love Breaking
You know
Bad.
when they're emptying the train.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he's like, hold on.
Yeah, he
Hold
stops
it.
everything. He
Walter
says,
White's
hold
like,
on.
hold it.
Yeah.
He's like, got it.
Yep. Even
That's-
when you have a lot, he wanted the meticulous preciseness. To
and that's
like
where we got
how
meticulous.
fucking-
That was the word I was looking for. Meticulous
He wanted
is,
it to
is
be
what
exactly
we did.
where he wanted it to be,
And we got it
which
filled.
is a good attitude to have. by the
Totally.
way.
We
But
got
yeah.
it filled to where it was touching the bottom of the bung. Because everybody wants to touch the bottom
Right
of
at the
the
bottom
bung.
of the bung.
Yeah.
Just to plug the bung hole too. You gotta.
Yeah, and
I
we
don't
had
know.
just
Just turn this.
and
thing
we had
on.
hit it
Bottle
with we had hit it with CO2
This is
before
a
we filmed it this time
terrible
because we didn't do that.
You hit the
before.
bunghole with
This is
some
the worst.
CO2?
We
The second
ended on-
time.
we ended on such a high note.
When we pulled the 5 gallons off for the Great Lakes Brew Fest.
All right.
Brandon and I brewed another 5 gallons to replenish that, and we were a little short because we didn't figure how much we were taking off and what the loss would have been soaking in or whatever. So there's a little headspace. So after we filled it, we noticed there was maybe about an inch or so of
that's right,
headspace.
that happened.
Yes.
And I just sat there. I had my CO2 tank into the hose and just blasted it into the top of it to try and push out as much oxygen as possible.
Right.
And my concern was, man, there's too much headspace. I don't know how much that CO2 is going to do.
Oh, dude, it does plenty.
Apparently it has.
You don't need to,
my
like,
thought
blast it
was,
with a
yeah, I wasn't
ridiculous
sure.
amount of time at all.
Just because the first time we ever did a barrel-aged beer, we got a hold of a 50 or 55 gallon Knob Creek barrel.
yeah.
And we
Okay.
brewed 50 to 55 gallons of a stout.
That's a big boy.
To put in there, and pellicle formed on top, and it was fucking nail polish remover.
Oh, no.
So
You got the AE?
it cost. There was more people in the club at the time. There was about 9 or 10 of us, so it cost us about $10 a person. We're all about $10.
Yeah.
But it still sucks.
How do you think you got a lot of that nail polish off flavor? Just learning.
There was
forward, like, what would you do?
there was too much headspace. We did not brew enough. We didn't do anything to kind of seal that.
And the sanitation
Also,
for
yeah,
it was bad.
The barrel was rinsed in a kiddie pool with hose water, and that was
Oh, that was the tragic story behind it, right?
there you go.
So that's like the
That's
cardinal
it.
sin when you're coming to barrel aging. If I want a barrel to throw my beer inside of, I want it wet. I want it soaked in bourbon.
Yeah.
I want it to be pretty fresh. Like the second he dumps the bourbon out of it, ideally I would push him out of the way and stick my wand in there and fill it up with fucking beer.
That sounds
But
very
if
sexual.
you go, I mean,
Just sticking my wand right in there.
right in the bunghole. Yeah. But that's what you want.
Going
You
real
want
blue.
it as
Yeah.
freshly dumped as you can get it. Freshly dumped of that bourbon, maybe a nice little puddle at the bottom of it. Or as your guy did the opposite of what you want. He took it, sprayed water in there, and just sloshed it. And
And to his defense, we had no idea what we were doing.
Oh, no,
it was
that's
it was the
absolutely
first
fine.
time. First time we did this.
We were virgins.
Yeah, we were.
it was your
barrel-aged
first
virgins.
time? I remember
Yeah.
my first time. Yeah.
It felt like
It
the
was like
first
it was
time.
like it was like 2 weeks ago.
This
so
guy knows what
it's still fresh.
Yes.
Took an interesting turn.
yeah.
Well, anyways,
But yeah, you understand like a lot of the things that it did to the barrel itself. Once he did that, it kind of stripped away a lot of the properties that you wanted originally for it. You want it to be wet. You want it to have that characteristic soaked in the staves of the wood of it.
I
For
can't
the
get over.
bourbon.
I can't get over all the sexual innuendo. Yeah, you wanted it wet.
Okay, Tony.
I didn't even see it that way at this
Alright.
point, and I'm the king of
Just
the
going blue.
Damn it, Tony.
Just
You
going
guys,
blue.
we should have ended it the
Just
last.
going.
This
Just
is
going
not
blue.
good.
That's why we've got editing capability.
Just going
I
blue
mean,
all the
by
time.
editing, you mean
Alright.
edit all of this.
So you were saying something about it being
We'll say a little more appropriately. All right, so by splashing that water in there, you kind of washed away of all the coating that you wanted along the sides
It
of the
wasn't
barrel. You
moist
want it
anymore.
coated in the bourbon. You wanted it
Yeah.
fairly saturated in the staves, just to get the most out of the flavor before you put your beer in it. But he got rid of all of that. Which
Yeah, it
is-
was all gone, and he was showing me pictures of like all the.
I mean, it's
black
okay.
shit
It
going
happens to all of us.
You
know,
guys
we all
talking
make
about the guy?
mistakes, but
Yeah. So where did you get your barrel from?
I got it from
Clark.
Journeyman.
Clark, where
Distillery.
did you get your barrel from, sir?
Thank you for asking, Tony. I got it from Journeyman Distillery in Three Oaks, Michigan.
Yeah.
It's just a 5-gallon guy.
And that-
It was whiskey though. It was some type
Straight
of
of whiskey in there,
And
and
my problem was that I let it sit there for a good 6 to 7 months until I used it.
it was
Really dumb because it smelled so great when we first got it. It was moist. Is that better?
yeah.
No?
Thanks.
moist.
Moist is a better word.
And not knowing what I was doing, I was, I'll get around to it. When I get around to it, I brewed a stout, which the stout turned out pretty nice.
It was a KBS clone.
It was. It was nice, and then it
shelf
sort of
turned it.
worked. It was okay. It's fine.
Now you and I have had different generations. How old is that beer now? It's almost 3 years.
I
2 years?
believe I.
2 to 3 years.
Probably 3 years this July or August.
I would like
it will
to-
have been in bottles.
I would like to revisit it because I've had it at different stages where it has been bad, it has been good,
Correct.
It's been okay.
Been bad again.
Been bad again.
Well,
and
that
then it's been
happens.
good.
You
Yeah.
do have those trials.
I'm
that's
really
good.
interested in revisiting that again.
Yeah. Well, I did learn from you guys to sanitize it or do something to it. I did not use a garden hose, so that was
Well, that
a
was
good
smart.
call. But I did not purge it with CO2, or not purge, but I did not use any CO2.
Yeah.
You can't do the pops when someone's talking.
Oh, sorry.
You're a real piece of work, Neil. I know you want to just cut and end it, but I
It's
can
not good.
piece
It's just
something
none of
together.
it's been good.
What is it?
We're too drunk.
No, there's been
We
some
sound
good
like shit.
information.
No,
No, we
there's been
sound
good
like
barrel
conversation. There's been good
Yeah.
conversation.
I think there's some
We talked
pretty
about
good
the barrel.
topics about the barrels and the characteristics
I don't
and what
know.
it lends.
You underestimate my editing skills.
All right, let's bring it
bring
back
it back.
together.
Yeah,
sorry,
What do
guys.
you want to know
We're gonna
about
have to close it
What do you
out.
think
beer,
about
the barrel-aged
overall?
beer.
What do you think about that? What you just
the beer itself?
said? Yeah.
Like I said, the base is very solid. You can tell that it's been mixed with quite a few different batches because it does have a different kind of complexity to it. It's not one-dimensional in the way that you have like overly biscuity flavor. It's not one-dimensional in the way that it's too roasty. You have a little bit of everything in there going on, which is what you want. And you have like some dark fruit coming through, dark fruit characteristic that we all kind of commented on too. And it's not like overly sweet, like ridiculously ripe type of fruit characteristic. It's more earthy tones to it.
Yeah.
More like a more toned down fruitiness to it, like a more raisiny one rather than like a tropical fruit, It's more of a
Right on.
it's more a subtle one that you want to complement a stout base to it. And that's what comes through with it, which is nice and which is what you want. All that I would be looking for a little forward, and like we talked about earlier, just from a brewer's perspective, when you make something, all you look for is what can be better, what can I adjust. If I was to approach this in the same way, I would look for a little more of a barrel characteristic, but that might just have to do with the treatment of the barrel beforehand. Like you said, this one only sat with bourbon in it for like 8 months or something like that before it was done.
Possibly.
Is that what you said?
And then we had to re-wet it.
Yeah, so you have to kind of rehydrate it, bring it back to life. But in an ideal situation, you will have had a bourbon barrel that had bourbon in it for quite some time and only recently dumped not too long ago. And by that time, by those years of it having it in there, the staves really get soaked. You get that contracting, that expanding over time that lets the staves get soaked with different barrel characteristic.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what you're looking for. So moving forward, that's kind of ideal situation right there. Just makes it beautiful. And
Yeah,
your
that's good
beer
advice.
sits in that kind of barrel, and then that's how you get a lot more of that barrel characteristic coming too. Because barrel aging is considered an adjunct in itself.
Yeah.
Bourbon barrel aging a beer adds vanilla, adds that charred oak, it adds cinnamon qualities. It's a little bit of everything as long as the barrel is treated properly.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because one of our, what we need to do is plan accordingly next time if we ever, if we attempt to do this again, like knowing we're getting a barrel.
When? That is a when.
Yeah,
That is a
not
when.
if,
There you
but
go.
when.
That's better.
Yeah.
The when,
So
yeah.
when we attempt to do this again, depending on the side of the, just planning the brew day around picking up the barrel and all that kind of stuff.
Instead of finding the barrel and then
But
do
it would
it
be
right
good to know too, and maybe we just need to make better connections of knowing when these distilleries are emptying their barrels and we're going to be emptying a 20-gallon barrel, next Friday, and it's like, well, shit, it's Thursday the week before, let's brew on Saturday, brew 25 gallons or whatever,
have some ready to go.
have some ready to go to dump into that because we're going to be picking it up.
Right.
But that's the chaotic fun of it too. Just
Yeah.
just the way you guys told me about it when you're like, we brewed a batch and we saw a barrel on Facebook and we're like, we're gonna go fucking get it.
that's
I'm gonna get it
kinda
on my
how
lunch break.
it is
I'm
kinda how
gonna
it
get
worked
that
out.
shit, stick a beer in it. That's the
Call it a day.
fucking fun and joy of it right there.
I mean,
and it came out good. It gave you a good product just from like
Not
the
bad,
impulsive, I'm gonna go get this fucking thing on my lunch break. And that made it so fucking good. You wouldn't have
Randy's,
had this awesome fucking beer if you didn't on a whim decide,
Exactly.
I'm gonna go get this motherfucker.
It must have been Randy's Barrel House Emporium. Is that what it was called?
Randy?
Yeah, Randy's Barrel House Emporium.
Just the genericness of the name.
I
Well, that's what it sounds like.
It might be. It might
Randy's
be Randy.
Wild and Flip
Randy's
Emporium.
Barrel place. We have
I think it was an
barrels.
actual
Yeah, we-
distillery.
Come
though.
get the barrel.
What you need.
Don't ask any questions. Just come get it.
So we're
Take it, damn
actually we're gonna be leaving. We're leaving the name off because the product bourbon that I ended up discovering, because my intent was to buy that bourbon
Yes.
and put it into the barrel,
Yes.
but it was all like 2-star rated everywhere I saw it.
Again, coming back hard again, like the Fat Boys.
Wow,
So
that was fantastic. I can't believe they said that.
I I can't believe how in depth we got into the barrel aged beer, and during that, I actually went and poured myself a little bit of it as well.
It's
Cheers.
unreal.
Yeah, so we talked about the barrel, and I have to go back and check because I'm pretty sure that cuts off. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think something happened with the audio. It may have cut off, but yeah, I'll fix it. So that was fun. So that was from what I was listening to, from what I've listened to from these, that is the best sounding one we recorded. So that's why I put it up front.
Gotcha.
To rope everybody in, to get you.
So set yourself up for disappointment for these next few clips.
Especially the next one, because it features Kevin Goggin.
Oh, man.
Where we discuss pale ales. And the thing is that Brandon didn't tell us he was recording.
Oh, yeah.
So, excuse me.
I can't remember what we drank.
Fist City and Burning River, I believe.
That was after.
Mm-hmm.
The after the pour. The
Yeah.
the Arnie Fat
Pug.
Pug.
Arnie Fat Pug.
Arnie Fat Pug. Arnie the Fat Pug.
Arnie, well, it's still like after the Final Pour.
Yeah.
Oof. Anyway, so let's get into that. Let's listen to you talk and me talk
Okay.
and Brandon in the background talk about pale ales. You guys ready?
Oh, okay. Sounds great. Thanks, Kevin.
Here we go.
You're not paying for that shit.
You never came to a show. We're not gonna.
That's a lot of head, man. We didn't tip the glass.
That's what she said.
We didn't tip the glass. Great Lakes, burning river.
What is New Glarus Hotel?
It's a New Glarus. Dick.
Oh, yeah?
Head.
Okay. I went to that brewery.
By the way, this tastes like a
Really
fucking.
fun. I didn't know they had a hotel. Whoa. Where's Tony going?
That tastes like. I gotta piss. That tastes like an fucking amber / lager / pale ale.
An Amber Dream. I feel like they've changed the logo a little bit. Didn't it used to be like more of like a painting kind of thing?
Yep.
Asked and answered.
Yep.
Cuyahoga River fire. Yeah. Did you know about that fire?
Nope. I've never been into that fire.
Yeah. You've never been in that fire? Well, I would hope not.
Maybe I should be. Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual circumstances surrounding it, but like, yeah, I think it was like the river was so disgusting that it's so polluted that it caught on fire.
So they made a beer about it?
Yeah,
I don't
proud.
know.
They're very proud of it.
Okay. I mean,
Have you been to Ohio?
not in a long time,
Yeah.
but it's a good beer.
Yeah, it is a good beer. I like Great Lakes. What is the other one? The Elliott Ness?
Yeah.
That one's really tasty.
Yeah.
My urine might still be sitting in the toilet because it was still running.
Tony, have you been to Ohio?
Yes. I just scolded Z. She talked shit about Ohio. I'm like, dude, you've never even fucking been there.
I like Ohio.
I like Ohio as well.
That's the only other place I've lived, technically, other than in Chicago. I lived in Columbus for like a month.
Really?
What?
I lived in San Diego
Well-
for a month.
Why'd you live in San Diego?
What?
I just kind of wish the mic was always on.
It's on now.
It's on now.
Mother
I'm recording.
dick. I lived in San Diego because of a job.
Oh,
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I know you lived in Atlanta.
Well, that was for life.
Yeah.
But San Diego was... Maybe we weren't hanging out around that time. That's when I was first dating
Thank fucking God.
Cody. I'll edit that out. I lived in San Diego for a job for 1 month, and we moved it to Rosemont.
Oh, okay.
It was super cool. I
Was
loved
it like
San
for
Diego.
training or something?
Yeah, and learning what the... what they... I don't have a cough button.
I'm a professional. I'm a professional on-air radio person.
Hey, what's up?
I do.
I lived there because I had to move a company from San Diego that was moving to Rosemont.
I see.
So I learned what they were doing. It was super cool, actually. I bought an Xbox while I was down there.
Uh-huh.
The original Xbox
Yeah.
from GameStop because I had so much extra.
I owned
funding.
that Xbox at one point.
You did, yeah, that's right. So you got that Xbox is
Yeah.
imported from
Nice.
San Diego.
It's gone now. I don't know what happened to it. I
You
probably threw
son
it
of a
away.
bitch. So when did you live in Ohio?
The first time I went to Europe with a band, they were from Ohio, and they couldn't travel to me to practice, so I traveled to them to practice.
It did make sense for all of them to
Right,
come to Chicago.
right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I lived with them for like a month and practiced, and it was fun. I liked Columbus a lot.
That was something I actually wanted to bring up during the podcast. Was what? Did you have any English style pale ales?
See, I don't remember because we had a lot of
Because you were on tour in Europe for a while.
We had a lot of local beers, but I think a lot of them were just supplied,
No.
so I don't remember a lot of them.
That's pretty
One I
cool.
remember it was like there was a lot. I feel like there was a lot of like shitty beers. There was a lot of Carlsberg. Carlsberg is
I
kind
don't
of
think-
gross.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
think Carlsberg
it's
is
kind of
gross?
like the Heineken of.
Let's do a gross beer episode.
The one thing I remember in Amsterdam, you could get regular Amstel, and it's
Not
fucking
Amstel Light?
delicious.
That's like someone who's only had Coors Light, and then they have a chance to try Coors Banquet.
yeah. Amstel is delicious.
Interesting.
There was one called Astra in Germany that I really liked, and I remember they had a really cool logo. It was like a heart with a anchor on it and a halo or something like that. It had a cool logo, so I remember it. And it came in like those little grenade bottles.
Like a Mickey's?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I said,
Um,
like I love Mickey's. Mickey's.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had a Mickey's.
Yeah, me neither.
Man, maybe we should do a malt.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
Malt
I was
liquor
gonna say
episode.
malt. I was gonna say malt.
We
Actually,
should do a
yeah,
40s
malt liquor.
episode.
Oh, should we do an Edward 40 Hands episode?
Steel Reserve.
See how long we can last.
Mickey's.
Done. Edward 40's hand
Do
is
it.
happening.
Edward 40's hand.
Edward 40 Hands. I thought. I thought it was Edward 40 Hands.
It is.
Don't
just-
say 40's hand then. Dude,
Edward's 40 hands.
you just make me. Dude, you know what? I don't like you being condescending.
You know, I'm just about headed up to here with you.
Where, how high is up to here?
Right here.
Oh, that's your top of your pint glass.
Yeah, it's not very high.
I was
Which
going
means I could
above
take a
my
lot
head.
more of you.
Oh, that's nice. Do you still think you can take more of me? That's the question.
I mean, as long as you keep feeding me beer, baby.
Oh, hey, that's the easiest way to do things.
I'm kidding. I like our time together. I cherish you as a friend and as an adult human.
Thank you. What if I was not an adult and I was just a kid and we hung out and drank
I
beer?
wouldn't. Nope. And you drink beer?
Yeah, well, like I still gave you beer. Would that still be?
Yeah, that'd be okay. Here you go, sir.
I think
Do you
I
like
think it'd be
this?
awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like you just had a kid who was like, "Hey, Mr. Goggin, you want to come by and hang out tonight?" Like that seems weird. Like, well, I got some beers and I thought maybe we could watch some YouTube trailers.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Maybe we could watch me play Anthem. Would you be still brewing the beer as a child?
Yeah, I think so.
okay.
Yeah.
You'd be like one of those like scientist kids.
Doogie Howser.
I wonder if scientist kids brew beer.
Good
think?
question. We gotta look that up. If anybody knows that answer, shoot us an email.
Yeah.
It's just 212brewclub@gmail.com.
Yeah. 212 Brew Club, always searching for children on the internet.
That's me pulling my collar. Okay, so after, so you know what? We're going to take a break because we're still going to take a break. Take a break. When we come back, we got two more after the final pours.
Oh, two
so,
more.
Yeah, we got two more.
Two
left.
more.
That one and that one. Okay, Jesus. Into the music. Lean back.
Lean,
Back.
lean,
Back.
lean,
Back.
lean,
Back.
lean,
Lean back.
back.
Nice.
that's very
Let's
good.
high five.
Cool. That was awful.
No, that's okay. It didn't clip.
Let's clip it.
Ow. Sorry, right in my face. Anyway, so we're back. We took a quick break, and now, literally, this is the quickest break I've ever taken.
It was very fast.
We are going to now hear a little audio from when we spoke to Pat McHugh when he came by to... He actually came by to record the second part of the Bourbon County episode. We had trouble with the audio, which worked out because Emil and Eric came back and we did that episode with him. But this was after the final pour of that.
So this was the second part.
Correct. So we have that, and that just reminded me. I think there's another little bit of audio I need to add, so we might have one more. I don't know. Maybe
cool.
I'll save it for something else. The show's going to get long. But anyway, so we talked to him. We drinking Pierre Jacques. Always be drinking Pierre Jacques. It was a 2010 that Brandon pulled out of his cellar, and I remember, I think, liking it. We'll see. You've never had Pierre Jacques, right?
I have not. I've never had any of those fancy Goose Islands.
Why are you even on this show ever?
You asked me.
That is not true.
All right, here's some more Artie for president.
So we're still here with Pat. And by still, I mean we've recorded a bunch with Pat, Brandon's friend, now my official friend on Facebook, which makes us friends in real life because we've hung out now a total of 2 or 3 times.
4.
This is 5. 9 times. We'll say 9 because Brandon was very adamant about us hanging out at your wedding, even though I don't remember.
Oh, hanging out at your wedding?
He said we met you. I met you.
I listened to your first episode, and you were talking about how you were like really
it wasn't
dancing
at my
a lot
wedding.
at
I
his
was.
wedding.
I
Because you must have been the only one.
Yeah, I was.
There
Let me
weren't that
clarify-
many people dancing.
Let me clarify. When I had my birthday party, when we went to the breweries, Pat was there.
You were there. Oh,
You had
There's
a
some
birthday
pictures
party?
of you two together.
Oh, on the bus?
Yeah. And
Oh, that
went
was
to,
great. You were
Mile,
there?
it was
Hey,
fun.
hey.
we're best friends at this point.
You guys had pictures together.
Oh man, I was so wasted by Sketchbook. By the time we got to Sketchbook, I remember standing.
That's the only time I've been. I want to go back to Sketchbook.
Sketchbook's
yeah.
great.
I haven't been there since either, but
You think breweries would let us just go in there and set up to record a podcast? And
yeah,
not-
we can tell
not even
everybody,
talk like,
hey, we're here. We're just gonna record.
Can everybody just shut the fuck up? Anyway,
don't know about
not
that.
you guys. I'm talking about them.
This beer was $10.
Back
Whenever I bought
then, Brandon,
don't even know when I bought
we're
it.
still here in your basement at your bar. What are we drinking?
We're drinking the Pierre Jacques from 2012, which is a Belgian style ale.
From Goose Island.
Yes, and it was.
I think
the
Goose
date on
Island.
here is 4/6/2012.
I feel like Goose Island should start sponsoring this podcast because we've talked about Goose Island a lot. We had a guy from Goose Island be on here. We did a whole Bourbon County episode, and now we're doing a little small episode with another Goose Island beer. I want my reparations.
But all right, so being a 2012 beer, that is not terrible.
Right off the bat, the smell
It smells not as good as it tastes.
kind of smells like candy.
Yeah.
About 30 seconds ago, all I smelled was your vape pen still.
Okay. So there's a little oxidization.
Oh yeah,
And
totally.
that makes sense with it being a 2012 beer. So there's definitely a little oxygen aspect. By the way, this is my favorite Goose Island logo, where it's the goose and the full goose body with the goose like kind of looking
Yeah,
backwards.
it reminds me of like Matilda. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. The goose is loose.
Those, yeah. The goose is loose. Bruce's juices. That's a different
No.
beer.
So, Pat, can you taste the oxidation?
What do you taste?
Oxidation.
Oxidation. Yeah.
Oxidation?
It tastes a little funny.
Okay.
It tastes a little like flat ginger ale.
Interesting.
Just like that seems like that's part of it.
Yes. So when I taste oxidation, I almost get like a copper, almost like a penny.
Oh, okay.
I get a penny on your tongue for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I like that flavor, but I've never had that in a beer before. But yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I feel like as it sits here and opens up a little bit, and I take more sips, it's not that prominent. So I feel like opening it up kind of, clears the oxidation a little bit.
Yeah, I'm swirling mine around here a little bit to kind of shake that off.
Now it tastes a little more like a nickel.
Oh.
And it reminds me of
If it starts to
Nickelback.
taste like a quarter, let us know.
It sounds like Nickelback, though, when I put my ear up to it.
Oh.
This is how you
Although no, like
remind
I feel
me.
like the swirl did it a little bit of justice.
Yeah, giving it a swirl kind of
Yeah,
opens it
swirl.
up. I learned
Yeah.
that from Ronald in the Brew Club on T12. Find us on the internets. Yeah, even going back and smelling it, although there's still just something that's kind of apple-y, and I don't feel like that's like a off smell. It just kind of has like a green apple skin. Like if you peel like a apple, because I'm always peeling apples. No, the skin of an apple, like the skin of a green apple. When you first bite into it, you get that smell and that taste. That kind of has that. This Pierre Jacques 2012 kind of has that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, what I would say off the bat is like I don't hate it, but I wouldn't order it. You know?
If someone's like, I had an aged one, I guess the name
Like-
you sell your beers very well.
Yeah, so like knowing though, like if I went to a bar and they're like, "Oh, we've got a 2012 Pierre Jacques," or like whatever, like
What restaurant are you going to where they're talking like that? That's awesome.
in France, and like, "Oh, we've got a Pierre Jacques." You know. Well, anyway, like, if I go anywhere and they're like, "Oh, we've got 2012 Pierre Jacques," and I'd be like, "I've had one at home. I don't think I'd order it."
Yeah, I don't.
We aren't serving it in the proper glassware.
Probably not. But the only place I would.
Welcome to the podcast, Pat, your new host.
If that came in,
Yeah.
like if I went to Goose Island and they said, "Hey, we have this," then I would probably
I would-
try it.
yes.
That's the only place I would probably try it.
I agree 100%. Because they wouldn't be serving it otherwise unless it was something.
Yeah.
What is it? Just recently they started serving like the original Bourbon County. Like they have bottles of it. The very first Bourbon County this past winter when they were doing those special like.
What?
Come on in. We've got variants and for on-site
We got
consumption.
95 Bourbon County.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what the year is, but they got those Bourbon Counties. We talked about that.
I know we've talked enough about Bourbon County.
Hey, bring it back,
But
Pat.
at their
Because
brewery,
who knows when this will be released?
at their brewery, they had a Bourbon County Stout double barrel that was like 18% alcohol.
Yeah, I wanted to try that. Have you, in the podcast, in the episode that you're on about the part, I say that as if this is like so long ago, but it might be. We're going to answer a place.
yourself out.
No, you talked about Revolution and doing their
Dust Star.
Yeah. Have you ever? Did you have the VSOD?
Yeah, I got a couple of. I've got like at least 4 at my house right
Those
now.
those are my hands down my favorite Revolution barrel aged beers.
Those are very hot.
Yes, and I didn't save it. I actually split it with my friend Clark. He and I bought the 4 because it was like $30 or $35 for the 4-pack, and I was like, can't really justify just like you buy all the beer and like buy it and like how much you really want to save and how much you want to share. So we're like, okay, we'll split it $17.50 a piece, and that's it. You get 2 beers out of it. Well, when the Death Star was released this past year, 2018, he and I went when they were releasing Death by Current, Cafe Death, and regular Death Star. Or
I
Death.
haven't tried the Death.
Death by
Death.
Current. Death.
Right,
I don't know what it is. I
Because the
feel
guy's
like,
name is Death.
is it Death or is it
It's
Death?
Josh Death is the guy.
I don't think.
It makes more sense.
DETH.
Yeah,
The
it
owner
makes-
is Josh Death.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's pronounced Death.
Probably.
So, like, people will come and correct you, like, no, it's Death Star. I'm like, well, that's not as funny.
Whether it's Death or Death, it sounds better when you say Death Star.
yes.
Because it's a fucking Star Wars reference. Anyways, when Clark and I went that day, they had a whole bunch of variants and different. They had Death by Currents, regular Death Star, regular Cafe Death.
I haven't
on tap.
tried the Currents.
Death by Currents is.
They had
is-
cherries the previous year, so.
And this one they had a barrel aged Imperial Eugene with cherry, which I got to try. But they had a double VSOD.
Double VSOD?
That was by far the best. I tried every single beer that day because they were just like the 6-ounce pours. And Clark and I said we're making this our day because the year before we went to Prop Day at Goose Island, we didn't win prop tickets this year. So we went to Revolution. We're like, this is going to be our new prop day. And we sat there and drank a whole bunch of those beers. And the double VSOD was by far the best beer I ever had. It was like drinking hot fudge. And that's what makes me think, when you brought up the Bourbon County, the double barrel Bourbon County, I'm like, that has to be like the same
probably
thing.
like
I
that.
bet it's just super rich. Kind of like when we went to Great American Beer Fest, Brandon.
Yes.
What was that? Oh, God, I can't even remember that beer. It was a California brewery. The beer begins with an X. Was it
Don't make me look it up. But no, I know what you're talking about, and that was delicious.
It was the only sample. We got 2-ounce pours. There's so many breweries at the Great American Beer Fest. It's unbelievable. That was the only beer and only brewery I went back to multiple times to drink the same thing because I just wanted to keep drinking it over and over again. It smelled and tasted like when you put hot fudge on a sundae.
I don't understand how people can still stand at the end of that festival or Fobab or like one of these whiskey festivals where there's 150 whiskeys. I'm like, I don't think I could try
fest?
more than...
We did a great job at Great American Beer Festival.
Great American Beer Fest, we survived the fest. We then went out to dinner and drank more beer. We then went to an arcade and drank more beer. We hung out with OG member of the Brew Club, Brian Sanford, who lives out in Colorado. After the barcade, we found a German fest, Oktoberfest.
Yes.
And spent the next 3 hours hanging out on the streets drinking more beer. To show you how good we are, I got my ass up at 3 o'clock in the morning and had to hop on a flight back home to Chicago, and I was back here by 9 a.m.
I've never woken up at 3. I've never woken up before 5 a.m., I don't think.
I went to bed around 11. I think Bo came in around 1 or 2.
Yeah. He woke up when he got the reach around. He was like, okay, time to go.
It's like, you gotta go, buddy. Time to go, Tony. Thanks, Bo, for the opportunity to go.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Am I wrong, or is this beer... It's got a little more fruit flavor now?
Yes. I finished... We were talking about the Revolution beers, and as we were doing that, I was drinking this, and nope, this one. That's the bourbon. That's the Bourbon County glass. Is there dregs in this? I don't think so.
There will be.
All right, in yours probably. Yes, there is more. I think that goes back to what I was saying about the green apple. There's a fruitiness to this.
Oh, right, you're saying apple rind,
No, I get that
apple
too.
skin.
But there is that.
It's not bad.
No, but there's that lingering copper penny type flavor that I get. Yeah. Looking past that though, shit, for 7 years, that's not terrible.
No, and this is one of those things that says age for 5 years and then drink it. You know.
You fucked that one up, man. That was 2 years ago. You should have drank.
Hey, you know, whatever. I got more like this too. So.
Oh, great. You gotta slam all those, Pat. In order to become a host on this show, you have to slam a whole bunch of old oxidized beers.
Well, let me go get another one.
You! Well, anyways, Brandon, thanks for breaking out the Pierre Jacques 2012 Goose Island Belgian Style Ale. Pat, thanks for being here with us for another
No problem.
little recording here.
Pat's like, you give me beer, I will be here and hang on.
I feel like we can just call Pat up and let him know, hey, we're recording. Do you want to be around for this one?
Have you guys ever had a...
That's not a solid answer, Pat.
Yeah, no, I'll do it.
But I'm also curious to where this is going to go.
Yeah, no, me too.
You guys ever had a Dark Lord?
Yeah.
Speaking of lining up for beers and festivals
I'll
and
be
stuff,
right back.
do you have one?
Oh, God.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, yeah, I'll come back if you do a podcast about that.
I've got a couple 2 trees sitting back there.
We can do another episode.
What kind? I don't even know what style of beer.
Pat, you're so woke.
Dark Lord, I think, is technically an imperial stout.
It's not a sweet stout, right?
No.
No, it's imperial stout, barrel aged, right?
Yep.
Just like Bourbon County. My first experience was with you, and have you had Dark Lord before?
No, I've never.
I'm not going to finish my sentence.
I've never even been near one.
I don't want to.
Never been near one.
Shit, I wish we would have known.
Well, now I'm near one.
I wish we would have known that, because then we only would have got into one Bourbon County, and we could have not drank anything else and got into a Dark Lord.
Well, now we got an excuse for
Another podcast.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll have you back on when we do Dark Lord. And I know Emil's got Dark Lord. I think maybe Ron's got a Dark Lord.
Ron's got Dark Lord.
So we can always do that and do an empty the cellar or something.
Totally.
We'll do a Dark Lord. We can get our hands on a fresh Dark Lord. That'd be awesome.
You can do that.
But anyways, thanks for listening to this little side. I want to call them sides. I want to call them side recordings. I want to call them little recordings. I want to call them the side recordings. Thanks for listening to another side recording of the 212 Roundtable, which is just us after an episode so wasted, just talking with friends, drinking more beer, and reviewing another beer. Speaking of which, and I'll edit this, you can stop
Smoking on.
Hey, in the middle of the I can't rap that fast, like Crucial Conflict. Otherwise, I would. Anyway, so wow, how incredible was that little bit of
that was
information?
cool.
And
I
now
learned a lot about France.
Well, and now we know how much I like Pierre Jacques.
Yeah.
Did I like it or not? Did you guys listen? You should know the answer.
Yeah. I definitely listened, and I definitely learned that someone is named Pierre, and then there's a guy named Jacques, and then Frere Jacques did a thing.
Exactly. And that is exactly what I got out of recording that with those guys.
French history.
Correct. Anyway, moving on, we've got one more. And it was Brandon and I, just alone, first time, doing an After the Final Pour. And he shared with me a Prairie Dog barrel-aged beer.
Yes.
And it is so good. And one day we will find one.
Now,
Kevin.
Tony, you told me you would find one of these for me and supply me with it, and we would taste it. I brought you some finger biscuits the other day from Twisted Hippo. Yeah. Did you like that?
I did like it.
That's very good.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was some more left.
I like the Twisted Hippo and the Maplewood, what they're doing.
Ooh, the Maplewood's good.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the Maplewood.
Yeah.
I need to go back to Twisted Hippo. I did like the finger biscuits. I
Those
wanted
fucking
to keep...
cheese curds from Twisted Hippo. Oh my god.
Really? Yeah,
They put little tiny like peppers in it too, like little peppers that you could eat. I don't
like
even know what
that.
they are, but they're just
I mean, mainly that's what you do with peppers when you have them. You eat them. But yeah, peppers that you can
Scotch
eat. That's good.
peppers. Is that what they're called? I don't know.
Aren't those?
No, those are hot ones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, these are like little tiny like red and green peppers.
Neat. Sounds really cute.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We're gonna get off the cheese curds and on.
But anyway, give
sorry.
me. I want to try that beer.
I'm gonna find it, man. I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
You hear that, everybody? We're gonna find it. And
Oh.
Kevin's gonna drink it with us, and you will hear why I said that, because you're gonna listen to me lose my mind over this beer, because it was very good. It's very tasty, very delicious.
So here's some more of All the French Predecessors.
And welcome back to another episode of After the Final Pour. It's like Stranger Things.
I feel like we could use this and not get sued.
What is this?
It's French music, man.
Oh, French don't know shit. Plus, I don't think anyone French is listening to the podcast.
They might be, man.
Je ne sais quoi. Sounds like Jappa metal.
I love this song. All right, sorry. Fade out. Okay, Brandon, and you know what? You need to do the you do the intro to this too.
Okay.
This is yours. This is your segment. This is your show. I'll host the regular show. You host this show. What a dick thing to say. Hey man, I'll host the actual show. You host the thing that I cut and copy and paste into a show itself.
I thought we were co-host. You son of a bitch.
We are.
So this is After the Final Pour, and today we are cracking open a Fiber Nutter from Prairie Dogs. So Fiber Nutter is an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with wafers. The grammar on this is weird. In bourbon barrels with wafers with peanut butter, I guess so, marshmallow, and cocoa nibs. 14% alcohol by volume, 12 fluid ounces.
Right off the bat, smelling this. I say this a lot and I feel bad. But I say this a lot about bourbon barrel aged beers and those big, heavy, like sweet stouts. Hot effing fudge. It does. I get a lot of chocolate off this, and you can just, the oil sitting on top of this beer is amazing. I'd tell you the color, except just look into my soul. It's a dark abyss. That's what it looks like. It is hard to see any light through it whatsoever, except for the very top where you can get like a reddish, maroonish kind of tint from where it is at the miscus of the beer.
Yeah, this is like crazy dark, dude.
Yeah, it is. Dude, look at this. I cannot. Nothing.
It's
light
like
does not penetrate this.
It is in the light bulb, and nothing is happening.
I could, if this was just an aroma or smell I could smell all the time, this is what I would want to smell. It just smells like chocolate and vanilla. And
Should make this a cologne.
Oh, it's like an alcoholic who works at a candy shop. That should be the name of it. Alcoholic Candyman.
I'm telling you, man, make it a
Sounds-
cologne.
All right.
Call it diabetes spray.
I'm going. I'm going in for my first sip. Here we go. You fucking kidding me? Oh my god!
That is ridiculous.
Oh my god!
It's ridiculous.
Holy shit!
I'm getting all of those flavors.
100%.
But what's prominent to me, like in the back, like the wafer.
Yes, it is like 100%. It's like at first, I gotta go in for another one. Wafer is lingering in my mouth right now. Hold on. Peanut butter coconut wafer, and then chocolate and wafers at the end. Is coconut in this?
No. I'm wondering if like the marshmallow is probably
Marshmallow. That's probably what. Yeah. Holy shit.
It is rich as hell, though.
Oh my god. I feel like this is too much to drink, but I'll finish it.
Well, yeah. This is
Where
the kind
did
of
you-
thing I want to
Yeah.
boil this down and make it a syrup and pour it all over my body. Ice cream, and then
Or pancakes. Do Bourbon County pancakes with this as the syrup. We should start our own cooking channel on YouTube. Be like, how to cook with beer, you dumbass.
or we could just do that like when we're brewing. We can just hey, now come over to our cooking channel. Not just make wings on a grill.
Ooh, yeah, we got that too. Ooh, that's what we should do. Make a sauce with. Well, Emil's got all that infected Bourbon County. He wants to do a barbecue sauce.
That'd
with
be
that,
awesome.
And I'm down for that. That would be a fun thing to post too. Once we get our YouTube channel going.
I almost was gonna text you too when I asked you what time you were coming. If you were gonna say you were gonna be here earlier, I was gonna be like, dude, I'll just order up some smoked wings from Easy Street.
I should have mentioned that. I would have came earlier. Dude, this might be... It's super rich. And if this is a great beer to try at a beer fest, it's a 12-ounce bottle format. This would have been a great beer to split between 4 people. I'm not mad that I have to drink 6 ounces of this by any means. It's just super rich. It's super that first sip. It's kind of like the perfect bite. There was that show on ABC or Fox where the perfect bite. It's so pretentious, where it was like you have to get the perfect bite on one spoon or fork, and if not, you're voted off the show. Why are we ripping on the French for this post show? I don't know. I like them. You talk shit about the French. I'm just saying that when I said it was a French song. Yeah.
So the French didn't listen to the podcast.
Oh, sorry. I took that as you hate the French. That was really good. This is really, 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 really tasty.
So actually, I picked this up at Fishman's.
How recently?
A couple months ago when I got the Brew Crew beer that was there.
Well, we need to let them know.
We need more.
We need more of this. And who's this from? We didn't even say who it is, right?
Prairie Dogs.
Oh, yeah, we said Prairie.
So Prairie Dogs, it's Prairie Artisan Ales.
Yes. Shit, hit the microphone, sorry.
Editor's note.
Editor's note, Tony hit the mic.
Fucking the label cracks me up.
It's like 5 finger puppets. Or
Yep.
10 finger puppets.
10 Lords of Leaping.
Which is another very good beer from the brewery. I'm just saying. This might be... Now, when you talk about pastry stouts, this is clearly a pastry stout. How much was this bottle? $15?
Oh, I think you made 10 maybe? $9.99?
That's a
Maybe less?
stupid steal. That is... That... I know I sound like I'm losing my shit over this beer, but I'm really impressed with how much you can taste everything. I know, yeah, and I said coconut, but it was clearly marshmallow, which I know they don't taste the same, but man, that's so good. I could drink that all day, every day, as the kids say. Do kids still say that all day, every day?
Every day.
No, we
They
say it.
every day.
It's just us now.
We say it when we're making fun of the kids.
Kids don't say anything we say anymore.
Stupid kids.
Man, thank you so much for sharing this. This is so delicious.
This is totes ridic. Do kids still say that?
Sick, bro. You know what? It's funny. We need to bring Kevin on for like a pastry stout episode, just because you said totes ridic, because of what we did for naming or describing the beers with all the decades. Kevin is a huge fan of the pastry stouts. He brought over the cup of s'mores
from Maplewood. He got a crawler of that. Yeah, I almost died that night. I think I said that on the Pale Ale episode. It's so good. And now it's a cup of Oreos at Maplewood. It's like a double stuffed Oreo.
What?
S'mores, not s'mores, but imperial stuff. Anyway, thanks, man. That was delicious. You have any more to say about this?
No, I mean, legit. If I can find more of this, I will.
If anybody can find this, grab yourself a bottle, grab a friend or two, crack it open.
Send it all to us.
Send it to us, and we'll mention your name on the podcast, which is a big deal. Oh my God, I just want.
We should get a P.O. box.
Yeah, I really want more of this, but not now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to finish this, as I keep saying,
Totally.
but I just want, when I want to have a big, like, rich, sweet stout that just doesn't taste like beer, this is what I want to drink. This is a dessert beer. This is the definition of a dessert beer.
Yes.
And it's barrel aged.
And it is amazing.
It's so good. All right. Well,
We fawned over this beer for quite enough.
yeah, we did. The music's gonna take us out here, man. I can't even pronounce. Oh, it's La Femme. That's who this is. After the final pour. After the final pour.
What was something like, riding on the metro?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that. Yeah.
Space Pants. Space Pants. Did you ever see that episode of?
It's the best. Yeah, I love that. All right. Thanks, everybody. This is part of a larger episode, but yeah, thanks for listening, as always.
Cheers.
Cheers, Brandon. I don't know if you're still recording.
Yep.
Cheers, bro.
Won't you tell me what that thing smell like? I wanna get it tonight.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Black Jesus.
Oh,
It's good stuff.
cool. I'll check that out
We should watch the YouTube video.
Before we go. Well, speaking of going, we're gonna go. And that's it. That was our first After the Final Pour episode. We'll probably have some more in the future. We were trying to push this a little bit later out, but it worked out. Turns out after 4 or 5 episodes, we got enough of After the Final Pours. Maybe we'll rein it in a little bit to make them a little shorter. Something. I don't know. Everything's a work in progress at this point.
It's fun. I like your show. It's fun.
Thank you, and I appreciate you coming back for a
Yeah,
second
thanks
time
for having me.
to talk.
I'll do it
and help
anytime,
me.
even though I kind of don't know what I'm talking about.
Everybody agrees. All the emails we got are like, "Who is this guy?"
I thought you said it was the most listened to episode.
It still is. How people
So fuck you.
because people are telling people like, listen to this guy, and I'm motioning at you,
Makes sense.
so people know like
makes
this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. He doesn't get it. But anyways, thanks for coming by, Kevin, and thanks for actually. This is the first time I've recorded in my house, other than the intros and outros and editing. It's the first time I've recorded something as far as an episode goes in my
Nice.
house, other than the original ones also that Barry and I did, and other than all the others. So, okay, we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
For more alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, punk.
This, yeah, I'll take that. Music for this episode was provided by Fluid Minds. You can find all of their music at fluidmindsmusic.com. You can find them on Spotify and iTunes as well. Again, thank you everybody for listening to our show. This one was a little different, a little crazy. Brandon will be back on the next episode. I'd like to thank Kevin Goggin again for coming back in and doing this show. We'll continue to keep doing these After the Final Pours. Like I said, we'll rein it in a little bit more, and it'll be a little more constructive than what we did. But thanks again, guys. If you like us, be sure to give a rating and a comment, and yeah, that'll keep us alive. Cheers.